broadcasting system.
Good evening and welcome to Elbc Newsline. Today is Friday, November 14, 2025, and I'm Grace Tower presenting in the top stories. Government to sign agreement with French Development Agency to support community development. Foreign Minister Sarah Beslo-Yanti calls for institutional strengthening to enhance Liberia's participation at United Nations Security Council. Nigerian 45 arrested in Grand County for alleged drug trafficking. And away from home, South Africa to launch investigation into mysterious arrival of a chartered plane carrying 153 Palestinians from Gaza into the country. These stories, plus many other developments, are all coming up, including our regular features here on this line. But before we bring you that, a bulletin of news read for us by Willem Etta Jabba.
Government and the French Development Agency are expected to sign an agreement to support community development across Liberia. The French Development Agency is a public French financial institution that supports and complements France's diplomacy across the world. Finance and Development Planning Minister Augustin Gaffouin made the disclosure on Thursday during an interview on the Super Morning Show. Minister Gaffouin said the agreement, which is due to be signed soon, followed President Joseph Boaká's recent visit to Paris, where he held bilateral talks with French President Emmanuel Macron.
So I'm waiting for my colleague to move first, the leader of the cabinet. Once she signs up, I will sign up. So we're not going to be in nickel and diming on what this person did or not, and then you compare.
Minister Gaffouin named the U.S. visit three. That's the U.S. visa 3 years extension, European Union support for the energy sector, and Liberia's recent global standing as tangible returns from President Boaká's travels. The finance minister assured Liberians that more developments from President Boaká's engagements with international partners are on the way to support the arrest agenda. Foreign Minister Sarah Beslo-Yanti has highlighted the need for capacity building and institutional strengthening to enhance Liberia's readiness for effective participation at the United Nations Security Council. Minister Yanti called on friendly nations and development partners to continue supporting Liberia in building the technical and diplomatic expertise necessary for the country to serve meaningfully during its tenure. She noted that Liberia's approach to global engagement is anchored in shared humanit- that's humanistic values, emphasizing respect for human rights, conflict prevention, and humanitarian cooperation. She reaffirmed Liberia's commitment to working with all partners to promote international peace and security guided by principles of justice, equality, and respect for state sovereignty. Minister Yanti made the call Friday when she briefed members of the diplomatic corps on Liberia's ongoing preparations for a non-permanent seat on the UN Security Council for the period 2026 to 2027. In response, the doyen of the diplomatic corps, Ambassador Augustin Gan, commended Liberia for its proactive diplomacy and reaffirmed the collective willingness of the diplomatic community to support Liberia's efforts. He described Liberia's prospective presence on the Security Council as timely and commendable, noting that the country's post-conflict recovery and consistent advocacy for peace make it a credible force on matters of security, democracy, and development. The Cameroonian ambassador to Liberia said the diplomatic community stands ready to explore ways to assist Liberia at the Security Council in strengthening its institutional capacity. The meeting concluded with renewed assurances of partnership and collaboration as well as Liberia continues to consolidate its diplomatic engagements ahead of the 2026 UN Security Council non-permanent seat. The Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency Grand Julia County Detachment has charged and forwarded to court a 45-year-old Nigerian for alleged drug trafficking. Suspect E.G. Zuna Obina was recently arrested at the Liberian border while en route to Mali. According to our correspondent, suspect Obina was arrested with 366 grams of heroin. Our correspondent quotes officers of the LDA as quoting the street value of the drugs at over $3 million or 17,000 United States dollars. Meanwhile, suspect Obina has admitted to the crime. According to him, he was trafficking the drugs to Mali through a partnership agreement with a Liberian lady in the county. Liberia's ambassador to Japan, Edo Appleton, is craving long-lasting partnership from Japan in areas of education, healthcare, and sanitation. Ambassador Appleton also wants Liberia and Japan forge collaboration in city management frameworks and operational equipment. According to a release, the Liberian envoy spoke recently when he paid a courtesy visit to the mayor of Yokohama, Takeharu Yamanaka. The visit was intended to deepen city-to-city relationship between Liberia and Japan in areas of public health, sanitation, and urban management. Meanwhile, Ambassador Appleton has restated the Liberian government's strong determination in fostering accessible infrastructure, responsive governance, resilient communities, education, sanitation, and technology on its arrest agenda. The ECOWAS Community Court of Justice has promised to continue constructive engagements with national courts of member states, including Liberia. The president of the ECOWAS Court, Justice Ricardo Congaves, says such partnership is being characterized by dialogue, information sharing, and mutual assistance, addressing a judicial dialogue with judges, magistrates, and lawyers of the Supreme Court of Liberia on Friday in Monrovia. Justice Congaves described national courts as the first line of defense in protecting human rights and upholding the rule of law. He clarified that the community court intervenes only when a violation involves the international responsibility of a member state under international or community law. According to him, the authority and effectiveness of the court's judgments depend greatly on the support and cooperation of national courts. He called for effective and efficient collaboration between Liberian judiciary and the regional legal body to safeguard human dignity in the sub-region. Meanwhile, Chief Justice Nyamingwese has termed as invaluable the roles of the ECOWAS court in upholding the rule of law, promoting human rights, and enhancing access to justice across the sub-region. Justice Wese made the statement Friday at a judicial dialogue with judges, magistrates, and lawyers of the Supreme Court of Liberia. The dialogue was organized by the ECOWAS Community Court of Justice. The Liberian Chief Justice described the dialogue as crucial to fostering cooperation and strengthening collaborative pursuit and access to justice. He expressed hope the court's engagement with the legal sector of Liberia will trigger further collaboration and enhance the collective capacity to address the legal challenges in the sub-region. The Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, has successfully concluded a two-day workshop focusing on compliance and the Climate Information System CIS project. The workshop is aimed at improving data infrastructure, technical capacity, and institutional coordination among national agencies. Climate Information System Project Finance Manager Zachariah Soyan outlined the objectives of the CLS project, noting that it seeks to build a comprehensive national climate information system. Mr. Soyan said the workshop also aims to boost transparency and ensure communities have access to accurate climate information to support decision-making. Speaking at the program, EPA Acting Deputy Director Anthony Cuddy emphasized that compliance is not only a technical process, but also a moral responsibility that reflects government's commitment to transparency and sustainability. Director Cody said the workshop serves as a key moment for learning and collaboration, noting that it will not only improve project implementation but also enhance Liberia's reputation in global climate action. Meanwhile, participants of the two-day training thanked EPA and partners for providing them knowledge gained from the training and promised to continue collaboration to advance Liberia's climate resilience and environmental management efforts. Smugglers, dealers, and users of illicit drugs in Mangimi County are threatened as residents have heightened a major campaign to calm down on their activities. The campaign began on Friday with a parade through the principal streets of Kakata. Our correspondent said the campaign, initiated by local authorities and women of the county, is intended to support government's fight against illicit drugs and substance abuse. The campaigners also hailed President Joseph Waka for appointing new officers of the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency. According to our correspondent, the campaigners are resolute to making sure that those found wanting are arrested and prosecuted under the law. The Press Union of Liberia, PUL, has opened a book of condolence for two fallen Liberian journalists. They are the late Jonathan Brown and Sibyl Daniels. According to a PUL release, the two distinguished journalists and editors passed away recently after brief periods of illness. Journalist Brown, until his death on October 30, 2025, worked as editor of the New Dawn newspaper. Mr. Brown had previously worked with several Liberian news publications, including The Patriot, The Liberian Diaspora, and The Independent. Journalist Sibyl Daniels, who has been buried, also passed away on October 14, 2025. Prior to his death, journalist Daniels edited the X-Ray Global newspaper, having worked with news publications including Monrovia Daily News, The Daily Time, and The Inquirer. The Press Union of Liberia said Friday's Book of Condolence ceremony is intended to pay tribute and celebrate the lives of the two fallen journalists. The PUL has also expressed sympathy to the families of the fallen journalists. A three-day intensive training to strengthen value-added tax system (VAT) is currently taking place in Monrovia. The training was organized by the Liberia Revenue Authority (LRA), and participants are from the authority's senior management team, including commissioners, deputy commissioners, assistant commissioners, managers, and key technical staff. Value-added tax system is a board-based consumption tax levied on the goods and services both imported and locally produced, except those exempted by law. The VAT is expected to be introduced in 2026. According to a release, the VAT operates as a multi-stage tax collected at every level of the production and distribution chain to ensure greater transparency and efficiency in revenue collection. It is also prepared. It is so prepared. The over 200 participants are on VAT principles, legal frameworks, international best practices, and the rationale for transitioning for goods and services tax to the value-added tax system. Bomi County Health Team has received two modern ultrasound machines to enhance healthcare service delivery in the county. The machines were donated by the Health Ministry. Health authorities in the county have since described the provision of the machines as a major boost to delivering quality healthcare to residents of the county. Our correspondent quotes health authorities as saying the machines will be given to two districts in the county. Meanwhile, residents of Bomi County are commending government for the donation of the ultrasound machines. And Agriculture Minister Alexander Nuta is leading a 5-day assessment in Bon County as part of efforts to ensure government's funds are properly used to improve food production in Liberia. According to Minister Nuta, the assessment is to ensure donors' funds make the desired impacts in the lives of farmers and to get first-hand information on areas that need improvement. In a release, the Agriculture Minister expressed strong approval in Bon County for the level of work done in maintaining its historical reputation as one of Liberia's breadbasket counties. He said, while it is true that some communities still face productivity challenges, the collaboration observed in Sota and Panta districts cannot be overemphasized. Meanwhile, Minister Nuta has reaffirmed the ministry's unwavering commitment to scaling the gains nationwide to ensure Liberia achieves lasting food security.
And that's the shape of the news bulletin with William Etta Jabba. She makes a return later, hopefully with the weather and our international developments. One of the big stories we follow in this evening: Nigerian 45 arrested in Granjide County for alleged drug trafficking. There have been concerns about President Joseph Boakar's travels abroad and the results thereof. Opposition politicians believe the country has not benefited adequately from the Liberian leader's international visits, while supporters of the government differ with such assertion. On the Superman Show Thursday, Vavle Camera asked Finance Minister Augustine Gafuan what has the country benefited from the Liberian leader's travels.
President Walker visited the U.S. at the invitation